Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Developer Maruf. In today's lesson, we'll learn about destructuring and spread and rest operators. These are powerful features that make working with arrays and objects much easier and cleaner. Destructuring lets us extract values from arrays and objects. Spread operator lets us copy and combine data. Rest operator lets us handle variable numbers of arguments. These features are used everywhere in modern JavaScript, so mastering them will make your code much better. Let's start coding. I've already created our HTML file. Let's write our JavaScript. Let's start with array destructuring. It lets us extract values from arrays into variables. Let me show you practically. Array destructuring. Let's first see our basic array destructuring. Basic array structuring. Let's create our array first. Let's say const fruits equals to apple, banana, orange. So now let's destructure it. So we can destructure it by typing console, our array bracket equals to fruits, which is our array. So this is how we can destructure our values from our fruits array. So if we want these values, we can name anything here. Like let's say, let's get our first value. So we can type anything here. Let's say first, or you can say fruit 1, comma, our second fruit 2, comma, fruit 3. So this is how you can destructure our arrays. If you want to see the values, let's say our first fruit, and let's log our second and third. You can see we have apple, banana, and orange. This is how you can destructure our arrays. This extracts each element into its own variable, you can see here. And let me show you how we can skip our elements. Let's say skipping elements. First we create our array. Let's say numbers equals to array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save this, and let's destructure it to skip any number. Let's say we want to print our 1 and we will skip 2 and we will get 3. We will skip 4 and get our 5. So we can do it like this. First we say we can name any variable for any element. Let's say for the first element 1, I am saying first, comma. So to skip, we just keep it empty and add our comma again. So we have skipped number 2, and now we are getting our third, comma, and let's skip number 4, and again keep it empty and write comma, and fifth equals to numbers, our array. Save this. Let's log first, third, and fifth. Now you can see we have 1, 3, and 5. We have skipped 2 and 4. So this is how you can skip with keeping it empty and shifting to our next element which we want to show. If you want to skip third, you can just keep it empty, and if you want to show our fourth, so let's say fourth, and let's write here fourth. Save this. You can see we got our 4, and we have skipped number 2 and number 3 here. And if you want, you can also put default value as well. Let me show you that as well. Default values. Let's create our colors array. Let's say red and green, and let's restructure it with color 1, with our color 2, comma. If you want to add any other color, you can just put here color 3 and give it our default value. Let's say blue equals to colors. Save this, and let's add log our 1, 2, and 3. You can see we got red, green, and blue. You see blue is not added in our colors array, but we have put a default value, so that's why we are getting blue. If we add any third value, it will get that value. Let's say yellow. If we save this, we will get yellow here because we have defined a value. If we not define any value, it will get our default value. You say blue. This is how we can put default values. If you want, we can also swap any values by our variables. Let me show you that as well. Let's say swapping variables. Let's create variables. Let's say a equals to 10, and let's b equals to 20. And if we want to swap values, we can just add our array bracket, and first let's get our a variable and b, and we will make it equals to b, comma, a. So now a will get the value of b and b will get the value of a. So a is 20 now and b is 10, but before a was 10 and b was 20. Let's log it to see our value. Let's say a, b. Save this. You can see we have 20, which is a, and 10, which is b. If we don't swap it, we will get 10 and 20, which are our current values. So this is how you can swap any values. Now let me show you a rest operator. We will cover it in detail, but let me show you how it works. Let's say rest in our destructuring. First, let's create an array. Let's say numbers. We have our numbers. Let's make it unique 2 equals to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's destructure it. Let's get our first number, our second number, And for the remaining numbers, or if we want not to type them separately, we can do it with the rest operator. Just put 3 dots and say rest, or you can put any name here. Round numbers to array. So if we log this, let's log our first number, second number, and our rest variable. You can see we got 1, which is our first value or element, second number, which is 2, you can see here, and our rest, which you can see an array with 3, 4 till 8, which are the rest elements. If you want to get our third number, we can also do that. And let's add our console. We got 3, and our rest will start from 4, because these are the rest ones which are remaining, which we haven't added here. So that is how rest works in destructuring. Let's comment these out, and let me show you our object destructuring. Let's add a comment, object destructuring. So the object destructuring are the similars with these arrays, but it uses curly braces because object start with curly braces. We already have covered objects in our previous lessons. You can check it out. But let's start with the basic object destructuring. Let's create a person object equals to array. Let's name equals to my roof, our age, 24, our city will be Hyderabad. Save this, and let's destructure it. It's a const, and to destructure we can add our properties here directly, comma age, comma city, from our person object. You can see we have used curly braces because it is an object. We are destructuring an object, so we always use curly braces. But when we were destructuring an array, you can see we have used array brackets. So you should always keep in mind, do not make any mistake. Let's log these properties, name, age, and city. You can see we got Maruf, 24, Hyderabad, which are the value of these 3 properties or keys, you can see. If you want, you can rename any variable, like these are the variables. You can also rename them. Let me show you how. Renaming variables, let's say const user object, and let's add a username. Let's make it developer Maruf, comma our email. Let's add Maruf at developermaruf.com. Save this, and let's destructure it first. Username, comma email equals to user object. Save this. If you want to rename this username variable, you can do it like this. Just add colon, just add colon after that and say user name or anything. You can rename it. If you want to rename this email, you can do that as well. So let's log this if we get the value of it or not. So you can see we have developer Maruf, which is the value of this username, which we have renamed to this, and we are getting the value of username from here and email from here. You can see it. So this is how you can rename any variable. Let's comment these out, and let me show you how we can add default values. Let's say default values. Let's create again the user, or let's copy this one here. If you want, you can type it. I'm making it quick. Let's say const, let's destructure it, username, comma our email, and you can add our more properties which are not added inside our object. You can add it with a default value. Let's say is active equals to true. This is the default value. Let's say role equals to user from our user object. Save this. Let's log these username, email, and is active role. You can see we have developer Maruf, our email, and our true value from this property, which we have given the default value. If you don't give any value here, you will see undefined. You can see it because this is not defined yet. So we should give it a value. And if you will give value here, it will get that value and ignore the default one. Save this. You can see now it is false. It is ignoring this true value because we have given this is active value of false inside the object. So you can do that as well. If you don't do that, it will get the default value, which is true. This is how you can give default values. Let's comment this out. And let me show you our nested object destructuring. Nested object destructuring. Let's create a student object. Let's name this Maruf. Let's give it an age 24. Let's add address object, street, city, and country. It is not India, it is Pakistan, so keep it Pakistan. And let's first destructure it. Const, let's say name, our age, and our address from this student object. Save this, and we can destructure this nested object. How we can do that? We can just add a colon and object brackets, and we can get our properties here. Let's say I want to get city and our country. If you want to rename the city, you can also do that with city name. I've already shown you right here. So let's add log, see the values of it. name, age, city name, country. You can see we got Maruf inside our name. It's Maruf 24, which is age. Hyderabad, which is our city name. City name is coming from here and here, which is Hyderabad. Pakistan is coming from our object. So this is how you can destructure our nested object like that. Let me show you our REST operator with our objects. Let's say REST in object destructuring. Let's add a product equals to object name up top, our price 1000, and category electronics, and stock, let's say we have 50. Save this and let's destructure it. Let's destructure name, our price, and if we want to get our REST, you can do that by 3 dots and name it REST, or you can name it product details from our product object. Save this. Let's log this, name, price, and product details. You can see we have our name, our price, and our REST product details, which is category and our stock. You can see here. If you want to get our category, you can do this like dot notation. We have our electronics. If we want to get stock, you can do that as well. We have already covered these dot notation and bracket notation in our object lesson. You can check it out. So this is how we can add our REST operator with object destructuring. Let's comment this out. And let's move on to our spread operator. So the spread operator uses 3 dots like the REST operator, but it is to expand arrays and objects. Let me show you how. So first let's start with the arrays. Let's say spread with arrays. Let's create 2 arrays. Let's say array 1 equals to 1, 2, 3, and let's add our second array, const array 2 equals to 4, 5, 6. Save this and you can combine it. Let's say combine equals to array. So you can use our spread operator with 3 dots and our array variable name, comma, our second array. This is how you can expand our arrays with our spread operator. Let's log this. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how you can combine and you can use our spread operators. You can also log our array 1, 2. You can see it. So the array 1 and 2 remain the same, and this spread operator combined our both arrays into one, just like that. And if you want to copy any array with the spread operator, you can do that. Let's comment this out and let's say spread with or 2 copy array. Let's say original equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's copy it. Let's say copy equals to our array bracket and our spread operator origin. So this is how you can copy our arrays. Let's log this, copy and our original array. So you can see this is the copy of our original array. This is the original array. So this is how you can copy with our spread operator. If you want to push any number, you can do that. Let's push 6 inside our copy and let's log this. You can see we have 6. So this is how it will work. Let's comment this out. And if you want, you can also add elements with the spread operator. Let me show you that as well. Spread to add elements. Let's create a number array 1, 2, 3, and let's create a new numbers equals to 0. This is the new array, comma. Let's add our numbers or elements to add these numbers inside this array. Inside this array, you can do that by 3 dots and our numbers array, comma, 4, 5, 6. Save this. So this is how you can add elements with our spread operator. Just 3 dots and our array name which you want to add. And if we log this, let's say new numbers, you can see we have 0, 1, 2, 3, which is coming from this array which we have added in the new one. That's why we are getting 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, which are the remaining numbers. So that's it for arrays. Let's comment these out and let me show you spread operator with the object. Same way, spread with objects. You can create any object. Let's say original object equals to name equals to Maruf. Let's age equals to 24. Save this and let's add another object. Let's rename it to object 1, or let's say it A, and let's give it a number, make it B, and give it 2, and just copy it, paste it here, change the name object 2, it is 3 and 4. So these are the 2 objects. Now if you want to combine those both, which we did here for the arrays, we can merge these objects with this. Merged equals to our object bracket and then dot 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 object 1, comma, object 2. Save this, log this, and see here. We have 3 and 4. Why is that? I don't know. If we log our object 1 and 2, we got A and B, 3 and 4, but in merged we are getting 3 and 4. We should get 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I made a mistake because these both properties are same as the object 1. So that's why we have to change these properties to anything else. Let's say C and D. If we save this now, you can see we have all the properties with these values, because if we make those properties same as object 1, then these properties with the same names will override with the object 2, so we will not get object 1 properties. So this is how spread operator work with objects. Let me show you how we can copy objects with the spread operator. Let's say spread to copy object. Let's say original object equals to our name, Maruf, and age 24. Let's say const copy object equals to our dot and our original object. So this is how you can copy our object. And if we log this, you can see we have our copied object. This is our original object. So this is how you can copy our objects with the spread operator. And let me show you that our override properties which we done here. So let me show you more about it. Spread to override properties. So let's create an object. Let's say default settings. Let's say theme is dark. Another property language English, comma, font size. Let's say 14. Save this. Let's create another object. User settings. So inside this, we can add our spread operator to get those values inside this. You can do it with dot, our object name, default settings, comma. You can add a theme, let's say light, and font size 16. Let me log this to see you how we override our values. Okay, log default settings and our user setting. If we see in our first log, let's add a comment here. Our default settings, and this is our user settings. Save this. You can see this is our default settings, which we are getting as it is. You can see we have dark theme, English 14 font, and you will see here in the user settings we are getting font 16, which is this one, and our language is coming from default settings because we have used spread operator here. So it will get all the values. But why we are not getting these two properties? Because these two properties already exist in the user setting object. So they will override these properties, and this language does not exist in our user setting object, so it will get only this property. So this is how overriding works with the properties inside object. So that's it for the spread operator. Let me show you our rest operator, which I have given you our basic concept. We have used here our rest operators. Let me show you inside our function. Let's add rest in function parameters. So rest operator is the same as spread operator with the 3 dots, but it is used differently. Rest operator collects remaining items only. So let me show you function. Let's add sum, and inside our parameters we can add anything. Let's say we will get numbers. Let's say numbers. Our function, let's return some value. Let's add our numbers parameter dot reduce. We have already covered this reduce in our previous lessons. You can check it out. Let's say add our arrow function. You already know in reduce we have accumulator and our current value, let's say number, and let's plus them, and the default of accumulator is 0. Save this, and let's add a log. Inside that we can add sum, our function, and inside our arguments or parameters you can add any numbers. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this rest operator will get all the numbers inside our parameter. You can see we got 15 because this reduce is adding all our numbers one by one and storing it inside accumulator and returning us 15, because when we plus those numbers it will result in 15. Let's add another log. Let's see sum. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save this. We have 15 again. Let's keep only 1, 2, 3. We have 6. So this is how rest operator works in our function. Let me show you rest with other parameter. Let's say rest in or with other parameters. Let's add another function, greet. So let's take one parameter as greet and another one is names with the rest operator to get all the names, and return. Let's map these names. Map let's get our name arrow, and let's add a tactics, our greeting parameter, let's say greeting, comma, our name one by one, let's add an exclamation, and let's add a log, let's say greet our function, and our first parameter we can add anything like I'm putting assalamu alaikum, which is our greeting, and let's in the second parameter, because this is a REST operator, so as many as I can add with commas it will get all of it. Let's say comma Maruf, comma Ahmed, these are the names, so it will get all of that, Maruf, Ahmed and Sarah inside this because it is a REST operator. And if we save this inside our console, you can see we have our array with Assalamu alaikum Maruf, then our Assalamu alaikum Ahmed, and Assalamu alaikum Sarah. And if you want to join them together, you can do it with .join, which we already have covered in our previous lessons. Let's join it with space. You can see we have converted the array into our string with the space Assalamu alaikum Maruf, then our space which is coming from here, and then our Ahmed and Sarah. So this is how REST operator works with other parameter. Now let me show you our REST operator with our arrow functions. These were the normal functions. Let me show you our REST in arrow functions. Let's create one. Multiply equals to our parameter as our REST operator. Let's put arrow in the curly braces, and then return our numbers, reduce, and our arrow function here, accumulator, asterisk, which is multiplication. Our current number, let's start with 1, and let's get our accumulator and number. Save this, and let's add a log. Inside that we can call our function or invoke our function, and let's add some, let's say 2, 3, 4. Save this. We are getting not a number and an n because we made a mistake here. We call numbers, we have to call our num, so it will get our current number, each number. Now we are getting 24 because when we multiply these all, we will get 24 in result. So this is how you can use REST operator with our arrow function. So that's it for REST operator. So that's it for today's lesson. You just learned about destructuring and spread and REST operators. In JavaScript, destructuring makes extracting values from arrays and objects easy and clean. Spread operator lets us copy and combine data without mutating originals. REST operator lets us handle variable numbers of arguments elegantly. These features make modern JavaScript code much more readable and maintainable. In the next lesson, we'll learn about JSON and working with structured data. JSON is how we exchange data between systems. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone learning JavaScript. Jazakallah khair for watching. Allah Hafiz.